Amazing. We're going to kick it off. Now people are still joining. I am calling in today from Fort Myers, Florida. I'm here. I'm in one of my team's campers because we are on the site of devastation. And I didn't want to, I would never miss this. I would miss one of you guys because I do believe you can have it all. I believe that you can get clear on your dreams and design your life and be present enough to know how to be guided through this one chance on earth, because I do believe that there is a loving God who guides us. I do believe that you are meant to have the relationships in your life. That's why we crave them so much, because we're made for connection. And you can have all the money in the world, but if you're all alone, it's not worth it. You can have the best health in the world, but if you're all alone, what is it all for? And so that's the point of these Elevate Summits, which we're going to talk to you guys about later on. But I'm really excited to introduce you guys to my coach and mentor, my relationship coach that has carried me through the darkest times of my entire life, the days that I didn't want to keep going, but also taken my relationships across the board to the next level. So much of what we're going to talk about tonight has been diving deep in optimizing our one chance on earth. And if you can't function at a high level, an elevated level in love and connection, then it's just not going to be what life can be. So tonight we're going to talk about even defining what love is, but really the importance of it is it's like the wiring system for what humanity is made for. If you've come to any of my events before, you've sat me down and we've talked about the meaning of life. I really believe that this journey, this earth journey, I don't know whatever you want to call it, this lifetime is meant for us to learn how to love. And tonight we're going to talk about why that's so important, that it starts from the inside out, because you really can't give what you don't have. So Chauncey Klein, Chauncey, wave to everybody, is amazing. I mean, she really is one of the most anointed speakers, teachers, humans I've ever met. And like I said, she's not just coached me off the ground, she's spoken life back into me. And that's the kind of people you have to have in your life. And I really hope and pray every person on this call gets the opportunity to interact with her, because she has a gift unlike anyone I've ever met. And Whitney, I know you're on. I want you to maybe pop on real quick. You dressed appropriately. I can't see your face. Whitney.
Appropriately enough.
I don't know why you say you're Tori Rolston tonight.
I know. I'm showing up under Tori's name. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I'm totally putting you on the spot. Whitney is talking from the heart here, but I know that she's done some marriage coaching with Chauncey. What would you say to the people who don't know her?
Chauncey is amazing. Like, words can't even describe how amazing she is. But what you said about her just speaking life back into you, I feel like she's done the same for me in the very short amount of time that I've been doing coaching with her. And she's just so powerful.
Thank you.
I just can't say it, but she's truly amazing.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Whitney.
Very, very gifted. Chauncey is going to be speaking and teaching you guys some stuff in just a second, unless you wanted to comment on all that, Chauncey.
No, Brittany, I'm just so excited tonight about this platform that you have allowed me to step on tonight and to speak about such a very, very crucial subject of love. I love love. And so this is something that is so near and dear to my heart, and something that the world needs to speak more about. And so thank you for allowing this summit, us to talk tonight about this issue that sometimes we stray away from, because sometimes it's difficult to talk about love. But I believe this platform tonight is so essential and crucial in the world in such a time we live now. So thank you so much. I'm excited about tonight and ready to go.
Yes, good. Well, let's get into it. I'm at a disaster zone, so there may be some crazy noises in the background. I'll try to talk over it. All right, what is love? This is super important. Again, if you've hung out with me at all, I'm very into being really clear on stuff, because then you can understand it, because then you can tweak it. And I am not into just having people define things for me. I'm not into being a sheep in life and just doing whatever marketing, the news, or social media tells us we're supposed to be doing. And so when it comes to anything important to you in your life, you might want to write this down. You need to come up with your own definitions. I've heard people say things like, he loves me, but he treats you horrible and cheats on you and this and that. Like, whatever the thing is, like, that is not love. Yes, well, he says he loves me. I'm like, that's not love. But you can't know what something is, and you can't know what something is not unless you take a minute to define it. And I really want you to start defining these things for yourself so that you can, again, start actually being able to weigh things against it. So this is your homework tonight. What is love? And why is love so important? Have you ever asked yourself that? Type a yes or a no in the chat. If you ever actually pulled back and asked yourself, why is love so important? At least you would. Aisha's on it. Naya's on. Hey, awareness is key. We cannot design a roadmap to where we want to go if we don't know where we are. And so I like the radical assessment, everybody. It's super important. Okay, I'm going to give you some great side effects of love, because this is one of the reasons we want to get it right. And again, the reason we want to start with loving ourselves, even just saying that, if you say that to yourself, like, I need to learn to love myself. I want you to start thinking that, just think it in your head or say it out loud on mute, whatever. If you start feeling like that weird noise, we got some work to do. And I know that noise because I have felt that way a lot of my life. My life radically changed when I realized, if I don't actually love myself, then how could I expect anybody else to love me? And if I don't love me, and if I can't see the good things or appreciate the good things about myself, then nobody else, again, would even be able to see them. But I'll always be looking to have someone else tell me I'm enough in that area. And therefore, I'll have some connection to them to like pull that out. So again, I call that like an impure connection. When you know that you're enough, when you start from a foundation of love, and you do love and appreciate yourself, again, everybody else's love is a bonus. And so some of the side effects of love are newfound motivation, peace, joy, clarity, boundless energy, seeing the opportunities in front of you, an endless supply of resources for solving issues, and more financial success. You can type a 6 if you've been in a poor love adventure, a really bad love adventure, and you're just not feeling very financially successful. It's really hard to have that part of your life go well when your love is doing terrible. Why? They are connected. You just don't care about money when you don't have love. But when you're in love and you're empowered and you are just flowing from this place of enough, it's like everything just starts coming together. And really, it's like this one we see right here. It's seeing the opportunities in front of you because you're not distracted by the pain. You're not distracted by all this other stuff going on. All right. We're going to keep going. So, type of 1, if you want to donate $1 million to solving something you feel passionate about in your lifetime. Awesome. Type of 2, if you don't quite have the $1 million, just chilling, free, ready to give away. Again, radical self-assessment. We want to know where we are. Well, you got to have the money to give it away. Same thing with love, guys. If you want to give pure love to your children, if you have children, so that they end up solid, impactful adults, you have to have that love from the inside out. You want to have a compatible partner, you have to be compatible with what you're looking for. This is really important. Again, Mother Teresa, my favorite quote, can't give what you don't have. All right, so let's do a quick checklist on how to know if you are loving yourself or not. I grew up in South Carolina, and we loved listening to that comedian that would always say, you might be a redneck if. So tonight, I'm going to let you do a self-assessment on, not if you're a redneck, that's next call, but this one is, how do you know if you love yourself? All right, so here's the checklist. Real self-love looks like having an internal cheerleader. Naya, you are amazing. Naya, you are, Naya, you are crushing it again. You are such a rock star. Asking yourself positive and important questions so you can actually progress. Treating yourself with kindness, not constantly beating yourself up. Ladies, talking to all you. Knowing your worth and where you want to go. Showing it by surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to be better. Not people who knock you down. Not people who say, you work too hard. Come get trashed with me. Come this. Text that guy. It's okay. Surrounding yourself with people who inspire you to be better. I want you to write, who inspires me to be better that you currently have in your life? Oh, Lisa, I love you. Spend more time with them. Find a way to spend more time with them. And if it's somebody like a famous podcaster, just listen to everything they put out. Keep filling your mind with these things, because that can become your new normal. All right, real self-love looks like making the right decisions to go towards what you want versus avoiding. You're inspired, you're excited, you're actually liking yourself. There's really nothing you can't do, and you feel like that. When you're really down on yourself, you avoid everything because you already feel like you're going to fail. Real self-love looks like taking the time to do the physical and mental maintenance required to fill up your own cup so you can give the most and best to others. So to the moms out there who are constantly sacrificing themselves, that's not love if you're not here. You can't give your best if you aren't your best. So we want to be giving our best to everybody. That's really how you can live this fulfilling, beautiful life. So one of the ways that you can take the time to do the physical and mental maintenance is praying and meditating, working out, eating and sleeping well. You get it. All right. Type of 5, if you are ready to see the list for what not loving yourself looks like. All right, we're getting closer. Need a few more. Okay. I want you to take inventory. All right, number 1, constantly beating yourself up inside and never feeling good enough. Never want to do inner work because it makes you feel weird. Finding ways to self-punish and self-sabotage. Putting up with people who treat you unkindly or let you be your worst. This is the one that got me. Even having people around me that were nice, but let me be my worst. Whitney, I want you to type in the chat. What do real friends do? If they don't let you be your worst, what do real friends do?
I'll just say it. They do not let you show up any less than your best and what you're capable of.
Is that frustrating sometimes?
Yes, very.
How would that feel like in a love relationship?
Frustrating, probably at first.
Yeah.
Until you started, I guess, not raising your standards, but I don't know, leveling up. And then you would appreciate and love that person for not letting you show up any less than your best.
Well, there's a loving way to do it, and there's a not loving way to do it. And we want to do that. But that's really what it is. The best in somebody, helping speak life into it, calling it out, and watching them rise. But not loving yourself is putting up with people who treat you unkindly or let you be your worst. Ooh, drinking hard or staying addicted to anything that does not serve you, procrastination, escaping period really means you're running away. You're running away from you. You are running away from your own greatness. And that's because you're scared that maybe you really aren't that person, or people will be found out because you don't believe in you, because you don't love you. Spend some time with you. Invest in you. Do the work because you're worth it. Not sleeping enough. This is a big thing for me. Eating poorly, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, situational suicide. That's when you pretend like you were doing something like tarping a roof, but you accidentally leaned too far and fell off. You're even though you didn't want people to be mad at you for doing it. And anger issues is a really big sign you don't love yourself. So I want you to take inventory. You don't need to type it in the chat, but you might have a lot of the stuff on the left side working out great for you, and even a few on the right side. Again, knowing how to get where we want to go, we got to know where we are. And if you're hitting anything on this checklist on the right, you know how to undo it. All right. The ripple effect of loving ourselves. Why does this actually matter? Am I even worth it? This is a ridiculous idea, or is it not? This is kind of, if you're around me at all, I'm always talking about the ripple effect, because it is huge. It's insane how this affects that and changes everything for everything. But if you love yourself, then you have the capacity to truly love and connect to your family. And that can overflow from your family to your community. And that can overflow to your nation, to the world. And why can't it just skip? Because if you just skipped from self to world, then again, I'm not saying your relationships are always going to be perfect with your family, but if you're skipping, then even your way of saying you love the world can be a form of escapism. This is getting really deep, so I'm going to keep going. Why do you need this love to pour out of you and into the rest of the world? Because there's real freaking issues, guys. And I'm going to get through without crying, I think. But all day today, all week this week, and really what we try to spend most of any of our free time or time between work, or even not free time, my life is meant to serve. And we see this suffering so much. And the number one thing to bother me in life is when there's such wonderful, amazing, capable people who are just avoiding their life calling. I could have retired at 24 and gone and lived in Hawaii and lived by myself and not had to work anymore, because I worked so much and I bought some awesome smart assets. But instead, I said, I need to have more resources. I need to have elevated education, and I need more people to be able to actually address the needs of the world. This is not a one-person show. And it's not that I even have it perfect or right, but I'm going down the dang direction and trying to build an army of forces for good. And that's all of you. That's my selfish intention. is to get more people to know how powerful they are, how important you are, because your life matters. There's people suffering every single day that you are holding back on the world because you don't think that you're enough, or you're letting some douchebag tell you something that you're not, or that you're not worthy. You are an adored child of God, and it's time to start acting like it. We have my team, oh, thank God, was here, and they pulled this little 75-year-old lady and her 80-year-old husband out of a building only an hour after the storm passed by. They were holding each other as the water got up to their chin. And they were just crying to my team saying, thank you. We thought we were going to die tonight. And these are veterans that have considered taking their own life and told me that many times, and thankfully we've been able to work with them. I'm not saying names. I'm just telling you guys. Are we to think about throwing our lives away because somebody said some label, some put a label, and we allowed them to put a label on us, and therefore we didn't even know we were worth activating into doing these amazing things that we're called and able to do. And so these guys have chosen to take the steps of healing, to learn why they're worthy of life, why they're worthy of love, starting to love themselves. And now they're saving these sweet little scared elderly couples. And that's one story of, dozens now, thankfully. So that's why I'm doing any of this. That's why Chauncey's on here. We don't do summits for any other reason. We don't do calls for any other reason. The point is, this is for you. This is to unlock you for you. And we want you to take those next steps because it matters so much that you do that. And if you ever doubt that, send me a text. I'll send you some pictures. We need more people out here. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the great, incredible, anointed, amazing Chauncey Klein. You gotta unmute yourself, though. I muted you. Sorry for background noise.
Oh, wow, Brittany, that was such a touching, I such agree with you on so many fronts regarding self-love. That is the epitome, I believe, of God's nature. God's nature is love. And before the foundations of the world, love existed. And if we look at all the beauty around us, that's an expression. The trees, the ocean, you and I, we are an expression of God's love. I think that is so much worth celebrating tonight, is that we are an expression of love. And, I am truly, I want to thank you again tonight and everyone that's on the line. This timing, this Love Summit has such a great timing. The timing is perfect. And it's so strategic. And I want to tell you why tonight. Where you are in your love, at your love level you are now, I believe there's so much love that you have yet to experience. There's so much more. Do you believe that tonight, that there's so much more people that I can love, people who are even hard to love. You have some people in your life tonight who's hard to love. But when you elevate your love, when you press through and pour out love, you get elevated to your next level of love. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. I'm really ready to unlock your next level of love through sharing some things with you tonight. Who's ready? Who's ready to get a snippet? Because I'm going to tell you, this Love Summit is going to be absolutely amazing. And Brittany, you talked about the ripple effect. You talked about the mindset, the ripple effect. And one thing about self-love is a mindset. I really desire to go all around the world and to help people to shift to another level of love. And why is the shift necessary? The shift is necessary because sometimes we operate in only one kind of love. I'm gonna talk about 4 kinds of love to help shift your mindset tonight. There are 4 kinds. Many of us know eros love. That's the Greek word for love, eros. That's the romantic kind of love. Many of us know that we tend to connect with our partner through eros, the mindset. Oftentimes we think about romantic love. But there are 3 other kinds of love, and there's one love I really want to park at, because this is really the essence of what I believe this love summit is really all about. So there's eros, there's a storge love. That's that kind of parental love, that STORGE love. That's storge love. It's a parental kind of love. And then there's a philios love, the kind that you love your brother, you love your sister. But there's a divine love. There's an agape kind of love, a love for humanity. And that's where I believe the world needs to shift to, the agape kind of love. Come on, we need to shift our minds tonight and begin to think about, how do I walk in unconditional love for myself, for my family, for my community, for my nation, and for the world. The world is sick. The world is hurting. The world needs the love, the kind of love that's God's nature, the kind of love that I love everybody. Can you say that tonight? If I was to ask you the question, do you love everybody? Oh, not just your family, just not your friends. Do you love your enemies? Do you love those who are hard to love? Because self-love is an inner work. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. How do we shift our mindset to this God kind of love? And there's a methodology. There's a methodology that one needs to walk through when you talk about the agape kind of love. Yes, the agape kind of love. Can we go to that next slide, the agape kind of love? Yes, 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 the mindset. Yes, the agape kind of love. Yes, so when you have the right mindset, you begin to deal with these love limiting conditions. You know, our mindset can't shift if we always have toxic thinking. Our minds can't shift if we're always consumed by traumatic events. Traumatic events do not define you. They may shift your life. They may temporarily inconvenience your life, but you were not created to live in trauma. You were created to live in abundant love. Because you are love, you are a conduit of God's amazing love. Some people get stuck and parked in disappointment and can never move past disappointment. Some people get parked in so low self-worth and generational curses that keeps us locked in limitations. But I believe this love summit is really going to unlock people who've been bound by fear for years. Maybe you've been fighting with fear, and fear has been blocking your ability to love unconditionally. Yes, maybe in your family, you grew up in an environment where abuse was prevalent, and you could not allow to love the way you were created to love. Because I said in the beginning, you know, love is foundational. I believe every human being was born with love, but has been taught how to hate. I need you to catch that tonight. That is a significant point. I believe we were all born with love, but we were taught how to hate. Yes, yes, we were taught to do things like deception and to have bad attitudes. Every person was born with the power of love. Come on, love is in me. Love is in me, but trauma and toxic thinking and disappointment and low self-worth comes to smother the love I believe you each one of us were born with. Do you believe that tonight, that there may be something in my life that's trying to strangle my original design? Your original design, your original heart print is to love. And we want to help you uncover that love and help you to grow in that love and help you to be able to pour out that love in greater measure. So I believe that tonight that this love summit is going to begin to address and attack those things that have been causing people to stay stuck in a place where love is not the order of the day. And come on, go to the next slide, because I really want to help somebody tonight. I really want to help somebody. So I talked about mindset. God's nature is love. Again, I believe we were all born as conduits of love. Come on, declare tonight, I'm a conduit of love. I have love in me. but sometimes life circumstances have caused me not to be that conduit. Maybe there are some blockages. Maybe there's something that has hindered that love from flowing. And I believe this summit is designed to help remove those blockages and cause you to walk not in limiting love, but in liberty and love. There's a liberating love that I believe this summit has the power to unlock and unleash. And again, I mentioned hate is taught through life experiences and environments. How many of you grew up in an environment? Maybe it's not you, but I grew up with 8 other siblings. And I'm telling you, it was so hard to get lap time. And I do not recall really experiencing the power of a parental love. I don't know about you. So I went looking for love in all the wrong places. I know someone, if you can identify with me, just type yes tonight, where you don't recall feeling this overabundance of love growing up and really knowing that you felt love and you knew you were loved. But you know, I grew up to learn that love is just not a feeling. Love is a decision. We have to love, we have to decide to love who we were created to be. Yes, my hips may be wide, my hair may be kinky, but that doesn't define my love. That doesn't define who the core of me is. And so we're going to be working on how do we unpack these things that have been smothering my love. And then we will be dealing with the methodologies. Let's go through the methodologies. And one of the things we teach is that service is the highest act and expression of love. A lot of times people come to me and say, I don't know my purpose. I'm searching for my purpose. I'm searching for my value. If you just start serving, that is a high expression of love. Just start serving. Maybe you can serve in your local community. Maybe you have a family member that needs to be served. And then you start seeking for opportunities to serve. And as you seek those opportunities like Aerial Recovery Group, you began to increase in your passion and you began to increase and understand that you add value and that you're really a force for good. And guess what starts building in you? Compassion. Oh, I feel that compassion moving tonight. Do you sense that compassion? If you are a part of this call, I believe as you seek opportunity, come on, opportunity. Yeah, opportunity is available, but sometimes you have to seek opportunities to serve. And Brittany, I know every week through G-Force, you create opportunity for people to serve all over the world. And as you seek those opportunities, you begin to find your passion growing, your passion evolving, your compassion elevating for purpose and significance. And so that's one of the methodologies that we use to get people to find their self-worth and their self-love is by seeking opportunities to serve. And then how do you go to that next elevated level of love? You create opportunities. Oh, I think that is so good. Do I have any creators on the line? Do I have any creators, anybody who believes that when you create opportunities for other people to serve and to share love in the world, yes, that it becomes an abundance of love in the world. And that's what God is looking for. I believe he's looking for world changers, not who only seek opportunities, but who create opportunities. So you may have an organization tonight and your organization creates opportunities for people to serve. Let me tell you, you are a distributor of love in the world. You pour out that love into people's lives. You pour out light where there is darkness. And that is what the world stands in need of. The world is hurting because people won't show up to purpose. People are hurting because people won't walk in the power of love and the power of significance. Let's go to the next slide. So how do we drop these limiting conditions that smothers our love? How do we go back, Brittany? You know, I often talk to Brittany, we often talk about who are we at our core? And I'm only giving you snippets tonight because if I give you everything, we got to get to the end of the slide where we want to invite you. But at the Love Summit, we're going to be dealing with this acronym that I believe in that really helps people to unlock and elevate their love. It's talk about building the core. Come on, building the core. Who are you at the core? The core of who you are helps you to shatter the limits of love. Okay, you may say, what's a limit of love? Well, you may say, I wasn't loved, so therefore I don't love. Or that person is too hard to love. Or I've been in my marriage and I don't feel love. Or I grew up as a child and I was abused, so I cannot love. So that's the inner work. This summit is about how do we do the inner work to begin to produce the external work, the external fruit. The first thing we're going to begin to deal with is character. Yes, our character. Character is key to the core of creating limitless love, our character. What are your convictions? Your convictions drive your character. Your convictions influence your character. Yes. Are you walking in long suffering? Are you walking in humility? Are you walking in peace? Are you walking in meekness? Because if you're walking in love, you're walking in the power. The most powerful force on the earth is love. Number two, the core is about order. How do you order your priorities? Who do you make a priority other than yourself? Self-love is important, but loving is beyond you. It goes through you, but it's beyond you. That's part of the core that we're going to be talking about at this summit. It's going to be so powerful. And C is for character. O is for order. We're going to begin to help people who have said, you know, I'm in this marriage and I don't feel the power of the love and connection that I desire. Well, we're going to begin to bring some clarity to how do you elevate love in your marriage, in your relationship. Every relationship should be a powerful relationship. How do we see the good in everyone? How do we see the power of love in every individual? And there's some methodology that we want to teach you at this summit. It is going to be so amazing. And then lastly, the environment of love. Yes, how do you set boundaries? How do you set boundaries and not walls? Come on, I really feel the power of this summit helping people to tear down walls that block their ability to love the way God loves. God loves with the agape kind of love, the kind of love for humanity. We're going to be talking about how do you set boundaries and not block people out, but making sure you create a safe space so that your heart, so that the core of you can stay pure, so that you continue to pour. So Brittany, I'm excited about this core strategy that we will be sharing. And so I have a question for you tonight. If I had to ask you, who are you at the core? Come on, type one. Who are you at the core? Come on, are you jealous at the core? No, you're not jealous at the core. You can't be jealous because you're too giving. Who are you? That's right. That's it. You're giving. We're not jealous. If you're a giver, you can't be jealous. If you're a giver, you can't be envious. If you're a giver, yes, a giver is someone who understands their greatness. Yes, you're a server. Yes, and I believe the highest call of our lives is to serve, and that's who we should be at the core. So my desire, Brittany, on this summit is to really help unlock the servant leader. I believe that's the next slide. Yes, you're a giver. Yes, that's who we want to unlock. We really want to unlock. That's it. My desire is to awaken the servant leader who loves without limits. The world is looking for leaders who can love without limits, leaders who see someone on addiction, but can go past the addiction and reach the heart of the believer, who can reach the heart of that person. Come on, the world is looking for leaders who can love past what you see and love because who you know they are, their humanity. How do we love humanity past the limits of what we see and tap into the power of who people are? People are love. People are the epitome. People are the expression of love. You are an expression of love. And so how do we tap into that? We want to teach you how to tap into the deep places and allow the rivers of love to flow again, that authentic love. You know, it's amazing how you can discern people who are fake, but you know when someone has authentic love for you. And I'm telling you, we are in a world that needs authentic, genuine, real love. And when you have authentic love, you can heal. Come on, authentic love heals. And it not only heals you, it heals others. Yes, and I believe the world needs healing, and the world's healing is going to come through you. But I believe that the summit, October the 27th, is going to be that platform for you to rediscover and begin to see this next level of authentic love, this elevated place of love. And I want to come alongside you on this journey. If you are single or if you are married, there's another level of authentic love that you are ready to distribute in the world. And there are some keys. I have some physical keys that I'm going to give out at the summit, because these keys are very purposeful. And if the Bible says, you may have the love for money, but money, listen, you cannot have all that you desire in wealth until you have a mission to love everybody. Come on, you can't desire wealth without loving everybody. Love is wealth. Love is just not money. Love is the greatest currency you can spend in the world. I said, oh, come on, I need you to grab that tonight. I said, love is the greatest denomination of currency that you can spend in the world. If you need $1 million, start loving with a level of $1 million love. My love is wealthy. My love has the power to buy souls. My love has the power to transform lives. That's when you know you're wealthy, is when you have the power to impact somebody's life. And I believe tonight that some of you are on this line who need to be further equipped and further empowered to be able to walk in that place of wealth in terms of your love life, in terms of your love language, in terms of strengthening the core of who you are. And we're ready to join you. We're ready to come alongside you and do some amazing things on this journey. I said somebody on this line even desires to have just a tremendous organization for healing brokenness. Healing brokenness. I sense there are some people on the line who really desire to go around the world and to be a conduit of healing for women and children who are broken. This summit is for you. And people on the line who desire to be a conduit for marriage restoration, this summit is for you. Oh, yes, yes. If you see the problem, love has the power to solve the problem. We just have to love authentically. We also have to love the agape way. There is a humanity kind of love that the world needs. And we want to share that with you, because love is power. Love has the power. Love is the force that causes people's lives to change forever. So Brittany, I thank you for being able just to drop a few nuggets tonight as we continue to walk into this summit with just such a great force. And I even believe, Brittany, that those who come to the summit, there's some even some sibling rivalry that will be healed, some sibling rivalry that will be healed because of this love summit. Some families that will reconcile and reunite because of this summit. Some family members who've been estranged, and some marriages that have been strained will be empowered because of this summit.
Well, this has been a really hard call for me. I'm really trying. I feel paralyzed and I can't take my normal notes. I'm trying to type them in the chat, but guys, maybe it's just me, but she is so freaking fire, and I'm so excited to get to share her with you all. Type a 7 if she has been fired tonight. You've gotten something out of tonight's call. I am not writing these things in the chat for y'all. I'm desperately trying to run the dang slides, and I can't take my normal notes. Gabby, screenshot everything I wrote down, please. She's so good. It's like and she says things I've never heard before. Anyway, I could go on for hours, but this is, again, I'm so excited to share her with you guys. I'm so excited you got something out of it. Again, we want to spend 5 days together on the most glorious, beautiful, wonderful private island in the world, where there's only going to be max 28 of us hanging out, swimming, sitting, listening, talking, going through it, because this is your one experience, guys. This is what you got. Even if you don't make it out, we're so grateful to have you on this call. We really do hope you got something out of it, and we hope you share it, because when you find things that light your world on fire, you're meant to share it. That's life, guys. that is it. Chauncey, I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Yes, I really want to highlight the one-on-one sessions, Brittany, that we will be doing. One of the things that I believe my calling is to really help people to shift in their mindsets and create a lifestyle of love and leading with love. And these one-on-one sessions and these morning and evening sessions will be transformational. You know, I'm learning that love is eternal. It's not situational. Love is eternal and it endures forever. And when I learned how to love me, I really learned how to love people. And when Brittany talked about self-love, that's why we have to examine the core of who we are. You know, God is love. You know, we can't profess to love God and not love the way God loves. And I believe there's been so much hurt. You know, people have gone through so much trauma that they no longer feel the love of God, but you have to know that you're loved by God. That's the power and that's the force. You have to know that you represent the expression of love in the earth. And so these one-on-ones will be so powerful and we will begin to teach how to love again. Listen, every time I've been married 17 years and I'm still learning how to love again. Because the more you learn to love again, the sweeter it gets. Do I have any married people on the line? Brittany, raise your hand. Come on. Yes, we want to learn. We want to teach you how to create sweet spots in your marriage, sweet seasons in your marriage, how to be relentless in your marriage. You know, how to understand that the power of forgiveness. Oh boy, the power of forgiveness is the heartbeat of love. Yeah, sometimes you have to learn how to love again. And not only learn how to love again, how to learn deeper. You know, how many times should you forgive? That's a conversation we're going to have on the island. How often should you forgive and what really should you forgive? You know, we're going to talk about the power of forgiveness and what are the parameters with forgiveness? Is there limitless forgiveness? So we're going to be teaching about how to love again and how to discover the great treasure in your partner, you know, and how to begin to have greater impact with your love level at this next love level. But I tell you, you will leave Ariel Buck Island transformed. You will leave with an awakening. Even tonight, I just believe that the awakening has already begun because you're on the line. If you're on the line tonight, you have just tapped into another awakening. Oh yes, another awakening at the core of your heart for greater depths of love. And of course, restoration. And we will all leave without limits because I believe that we have more love to give. If you believe you have more love to give to the world, more love to give to your partner, more love to give to your children, more love to give to your children and your community. I just want you to say, just type a heart, send up some hearts. Come on, send some hearts tonight because that's what the world needs. We send that heart all over the world. Yes, all over the world. We send hearts, Melissa. Yes, all over the world. We're sending hearts because I believe Ariel Buck Island is the epicenter for love. It's an epicenter for redemption. It's an epicenter for restoration. It's the epicenter. If you want to find anywhere in the world where transformation happens, I know that it happens at Ariel Buck Island. And I want to know tonight, are you the one who needs to be strengthened in your love? And if so, you need to come to the place where love is overflowing.
We're excited to have those who are able to come out, and we finally have financing available for the first time. I think we just rolled it out a couple weeks ago where people are able to do financing. So again, it's coming up this month now. We're in October. So for as little as just $900, you're able to come out to the event. And again, it's 0% interest. I finance things all the time. That's 0% interest just because I can. It doesn't affect anything else for you. It's amazing. Stay on the line. We're going to have an opportunity for you guys to ask questions about anything just that you heard tonight. Anything you heard from Chauncey or myself. Again, we would love to have you guys. If you want to screenshot this, if you have follow-up and you guys have more questions about again event, feel free to do so. And now we're going to open it up for questions, guys. I'll go back one just so you have the dates. October 27th through 31st. All right, who has a question? I know y'all do. It can be a question about anything you heard tonight. It could just be a love question. All right, Chauncey, I'll
There
just let you.
has to be one question tonight to unlock. This is unlock and elevate. Hi, Gia. Is that Gia? No.
Saying
Oh,
hi.
oh,
Hi,
okay.
good to see you.
Oh, it's gay. Oh, okay. Hi. Yes.
Danielle, I know you've got a question. I'm just going to call you out.
Yes. Yes. Hello. Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Anyone have any love leakage in their life right now? Any love leakage? You feel as though you're empty. Your love tank is empty.
All right,
Okay.
we've got a question. How to get to love again when you feel you're out of energy and no more love to give? Great question. Sorry,
Great
just
question.
put
And
a
that's
name
what
on
I
your
just
name
heard.
tag.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I didn't
Go ahead, Chauncey.
I repeat the question. I didn't hear it.
How do you love again if you feel you're out of energy and you have no more love to give?
Well, you always have love to give. You have to redefine what love is. Okay, how do you redefine what love is? You redefine what love is, not based on what someone does, but who you are. Okay, you are love. And no one should have so much power over your love that you get depleted. Because love does not come from man. Okay. Now, again, I talked about two kinds of love. The Eros kind of love is that romantic love. But sometimes we do get depleted when our expectations of people are too high. We believe people have the capacity to love, but they've been trained and learned to only how to inflict pain. So you got to understand the person. If you are the person who is empty of love, it's so important that you begin to examine what's depleting my love. Can you identify what's draining your love? Is it family? Is it a husband? And you began to look at, this person, not because of what they do, is because of who they are. You love them because of who they are, not what they do. Because behavior modification is not the issue. The issue is their heart. Some people believe people need to change their behavior, but in actuality, they need to change their mean, ugly, angry heart. Right? So when you're empty, you got to reassess, does this person have the power to love me the way I need to be loved? Maybe they don't. I hope that helped you in your direction in terms of what do you do when you're empty? What do? You pray. Prayer is a place that I spend a lot of time in when I'm empty, because I believe when I commune with God, he pours out his love. He pours out his presence. So prayer, just personally, prayer has been a conduit that I use to be replenished and restored in terms of me feeling love. But knowing that I'm loved is more important than feeling, because sometimes you will not always feel love. You have to know that you're loved.
So good. Wow. I love that. And the only thing I would add to that, and thank you for asking the question, again, can't get away from that. You're so tired, you're exhausted. It's time to start pouring into yourself. Like Chauncey said, praying, getting your sleep, eating healthy. And just like on an airplane, they say to put your mask on first. Why? Because you can't put a mask on somebody else if you ran out of oxygen. You're running out of oxygen, put the mask on. That's not
Yes.
selfish to take care of yourself. So we had an operation in Ukraine, and a lot of our rescues to go get these orphans. It was like 40 hours of driving, and my team we were spending a bunch of money to make sure the buses to rescue the orphans were in tip-top shape, because if those buses broke down in a war zone, we've got a bus full of orphans on the side of the road. And that defeats everything, because now they're in even more danger than they were in the bomb shelter. So we really invested a lot in taking care of these buses. But when I went out to Ukraine, I saw my team was not sleeping. They weren't eating right. They were just killing themselves. I said, guys, you're going to make bad decisions if you don't take care of you. You're taking better care of the buses than you are yourself. So in order to be a good leader, in order to give your gift, in order to do all these things, you do have to take care of yourself. So that's the only other thing I would add to what you said. We do have another question. I didn't see your, sorry, Danielle, I was hoping you just unmute yourself. So I missed you typing it in there. Daniela says, what are your suggestions on loving people who are hard to love? And Danielle, if you're still on, I'm going to make you unmute yourself, because you look too great tonight anyway to not pop on and explain, what do you mean by hard to love? Again, asking for a friend. What you got?
Yeah, so you go through, I mean, there's been many periods in my life where I overextend myself in loving people and don't receive back. And I've gotten to a point where, really believing, hey, the giver needs to receive too, right? And how do you keep giving and giving love and getting hurt back in the process? And so that's been a challenge for me. And I mean, other than thank God, I have my faith and know and can love and be able to forgive, because that, what God commands us to do. But keeping those people around in your life that maybe are just too hard to love, whether it be a family member or a partner. What are your suggestions on that?
Thank you so much for your question. Rather than give, I start being kind. Sometimes we keep giving rather than being. Be love. Sometimes, you can't argue by yourself. I've learned to just be kind. Be humble with the person, but not always giving them what they necessarily require or ask of. We hear tough love. Sometimes that's the greatest form of love. Sometimes people need, not to be given, but to be directed, so that we're not depleted. And so I've learned to just be kind. I've had hard people and have some now, but I keep loving through kindness and pouring out that kindness. And then they realize, you know what? That's an example of love. She's still being kind, although I'm being rude. So I believe the power of kindness goes a very, very long way. And that helps me not to be depleted because you can get weary. And then sometimes you have to love people from a distance. You have to love them, from a distance. Everyone's not your assignment. Everyone's not your project. And you need to, sometimes we need to know the difference. Even family, there are seasons where you have to park and love them from a distance until you can reconcile to the place where you're appreciated, where you're valued, and where you're loved.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So good. Gay says, do you think you can accomplish it by yourself, or do people put much emphasis on the partner?
I'm not hearing you.
Gay, can you come on and explain it, what you're thinking, darling?
Yes. Let me see if I can pop on here. Am I on? Hello?
She can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. No worry. I don't know if it, anyway. I feel like I get empowered when I can bounce energy off of a partner, off of a person that has a similar mindset as myself. You know, I have ideas for days, but sometimes I feel like I'm like out of energy to sponsor my own ideas and my own creativity. Like, so like, for example, if Chauncey, if you came to me with like, Gabe, what do you think? I have this idea. I want to do this and I want to do that. I would be so excited and so energized to help you figure out your, you know, your creative part. But when it comes to me, I just get so kind of like burnt out. And I always feel like I want to work with someone to help me get to where I want to go. I feel like there's a little bit of fear in that. Like if we go together, you know, somebody will have my back. So is that a cop out that I feel like I feel like I need a helping hand? I feel like I need a partner. Or do I need it to just do it myself?
I think it's a community. That's what I love about the G-Force community. You know, I believe that love is permeated through community. The energy creates synergy. And sometimes though, I think before, especially when you have great ideals that you want to bounce off of people, I think sometimes you need to vet them before you share them. Or you share in parts, because sometimes people become overwhelmed with your greatness. You know you're great. You know you have such great value, but sometimes people become so overwhelmed that you have to find kindred minds, like-minded people, like communities like G-Force, where you can bounce ideals off of each other. But I hear you loud and clear. Did you mention a partner, maybe a partner, a relational partner, or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in my personal life,
Oh, personal life. Okay.
well, in my personal life, I really do want a partner, and that's been hard to find someone on the same wavelength. But even in business, I feel like I could use a partner.
And that partner is out there. That partner is going to locate you. I'm encouraged. Why? Because that's what you attract. So I want you to keep speaking it and keep believing it, and you're going to attract it. I believe that. You know, the energy you release is the energy you attract. So we don't want any fear to hinder you attracting what you want.
Thank you for that.
Come on, say, I'm going to attract what I want.
I'm going to attract what I want.
So you got to speak it and let the universe bring it to you.
Absolutely.
Woo, I love it. Any other questions, guys? This is your chance. All right, well, type a 7 if you got, again, some kind of fire out of tonight and your life is elevated. We love you all. We so hope to see you in person. For those who can join us for 5 days, guys, it's going to be amazing. I mean, one day feels like a week when it's so immersive and exciting and life transformative. Thank you, Chauncey, for being on here. Thank you for being my co-host.
I'm
so
grateful for the opportunity. And, you know, virtual is one thing, but it's going to be live and live in color. And there was to be such a powerful connection, October the 27th through the 31st. I can't wait to be a part of it. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We'll see y'all soon. Bye.